Hey folks, thanks for joining me here at Red Dirt Fishing. I'm Donnie the Fuzzy Faced Fisherman, and these are 3 baits you'll find tied to my lines in the month of May. All right, before we talk about the baits for the month of May, let's talk about what the fish are doing for the month of May. And bass in Red Dirt country in the month of May are in full spawn. You've got 60-degree water temperatures in the lakes around here. The ponds really aren't much different. But not only that, the environment around these fish is also changing. So you have all this vegetation coming back to life because it's spring. You have all the milfoils and the pond grasses and even the moss across the top of some of these ponds. It's coming to life all over the place and providing cover that these fish really haven't had all winter long. And so you have these fish moving into this cover, trying to occupy a little bit of territory, all while spawn's going on. And that vegetation is perfect opportunity to do some frogging. I love frogging, especially in the springtime. And all that ripe vegetation, that brand new vegetation is perfect for a frog. And these are the frogs that you're gonna see tied to my lines. I've got some with some long legs. I got some, if I want a little bit smaller presentation, I got some with a little bit shorter legs. I prefer the walking frogs to the popping frogs. If I'm gonna use a popper, I'm probably gonna use something a little more shad colored, but that's a whole nother story. But definitely tied to my lines in the month of May is gonna be a frog. All right, the next bait you're going to find tied to my lines in the month of May is going to be a lipless crankbait. Lipless crankbait's going to allow me to really cover a lot of water. If I'm bank fishing, boat fishing, wherever I'm at, I'm really going to be able to get out and fan out and cover a lot of water, move that bait kind of quick across the water. Trying to keep my pull tip up, keep the bait up off the bottom. I don't want to drag the bottom with it. But this is going to give me an option when I don't have a whole lot of vegetation to pop a frog or bounce a frog through. This is the lipless crankbait I'm using. I'll use one of two. I'm either going to use something that's got some flash to it, or I'm going to use something that's got a little more lifelike to it. One of those two you're going to find tied to my lines. Lipless crankbait, it's oldie but a goodie, and it does work in the month of May. All right, so far we've discussed fishing top of the water with the frog, somewhere in the middle with the lipless crankbait, and now fishing on the bottom, I'm going to do it with a worm. That worm is probably going to be wacky rigged. I may not Texas rig it. There's a good chance if I'm trying to punch through grass or something, yeah, okay, I'll go ahead and Texas rig it, peg that weight and make sure I'm getting through the mats. But generally speaking, this time of year, I'm looking for that cover where I know there's fish. I know there's fish over there by that lay down. I'm gonna rig up a wacky rig and dump that worm over there right where I know the fish are at. I'm trying to put that worm right on that fish's head, make him react to it and bite it right then and there on the spot. My worm selection, I've got it. These are the Yum Dingers. I believe these are 5-inch worms. That's what I've got in my hand. I've got several others I keep on the shelf. This one's by Hoax Fish. Cool thing about these, they've got fins on them, so it gives the fish a little bit something to hold on to, a little bit something to feel on their mouth when they chomp down. But the hook that I'm going to attach it to is a Gamakatsu hook. Notice the point on that hook. It's got a little extra roll to it. Cool thing about that hook, it really holds on to the fish, but it also holds on to that worm. I don't typically band my worms. I'm just going to go through the thick body of the worm right in the middle, let that worm dangle across both sides, and no weight, just completely weightless, and pitch that sucker out there right next to the cover where I know those fish are at. We're looking for that reaction strike right there next to that cover. Definitely going to be using a worm in the month of May. Bonus baits. If you're familiar with the channel, you know that 2023 is the year of the jig. These are the jigs that I'm going to be flipping in the month of May. I got a lighter colored one. I got a darker colored one. They're going to do wonders in the shallow cover that I'll be flipping. I've got a lot of wood cover here in Red Dirt country, and these guys are going to go to town for me this month. And those are the baits tied to my lines in the month of May. If you have any questions, please ask. Leave us a comment. Tell me where you're from and what baits you have tied to your lines. I'm Donnie the Fuzzy Faced Fisherman. Thanks for joining us, and until next time, tight lines to you.